Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 15995 NB. This is a key and knob, key and lever, key and deadbolt type composite cylinder, and I use the term composite to mean it's generic in its design and that it's specifically cloned or copied from industry standard design construction when it comes to cylinders. When they work in grade 2, grade 1 knobs, sometimes levers, deadbolts as well. They'll work in lots of different deadbolt designs. They don't work in every lock all the time, naturally, because you've got some manufacturers with some rather unique cylinders. Sargent comes to mind. If you bump into a lock that has M-Heart on it, you can guarantee you're in for a real ride when it comes to that very unique type of cylinder. A Schlage D-Series Orbit may not work because I think this tailpiece that come in this package are too short. There have been times when I've had to literally grind down the circumference of the cylinder plug just because I needed about 30 thousandths of an inch to get this inside the lever for it to sit nice. So sometimes you do have to play around. Now the 15995 means it's a cylinder that's going to be, this is a cylinder that is pinned 5, but it is, let's see, it is drilled 6. So this will accept the 15995, means it's a pinned 5-pin cylinder, but it's drilled 6. If this was a 15996, it would be drilled 6 and pinned 6. This being the 15995, it is it has a 5-pin key that's operating it. Okay, this is going to include 6 tail pieces. You're going to have 3 for your lever knob, 3 for your deadbolt. I'm just arranging them. So for your lever or knob, you're going to have, in all of the tail pieces will have those 2 preparations for the spring-loaded pin to hold the threaded retaining cap on. And the reason that there are 2 is so that you can orient the tail piece either vertically or horizontally, depending on how it's installed. Forgive me, depending on if it's a lever or a knob. So your knob trim is generally going to have a horizontal, and your lever will have a vertical orientation on the tailpiece. And that's because the tailpiece is the cylinder's laying on its side. So you need to be able to orient that tailpiece 2 different ways. Overall length on the shortest one, it's about 11/16. Overall length, and that one is marked RS. The medium length is marked RM. That has an overall of about 15/16. And then the long, which is stamped RL, is about 1 1/8 inches. And again, I think that orbit's a bit too short for that. But it's been years since I've tried to do it. So you can stick these tail pieces in either for a horizontal or for a vertical application. Okay. Now it will come with 3 deadbolt style tail pieces. They are all cut like this, which is called a lazy action on the tail piece, meaning that they're cut out severely like that. And they have to be so that you can insert the key into the deadbolt, throw the deadbolt latch, and then pull the key back without this automatically turning the latch bolt back. So as you throw and turn the key back, this will stay until you turn it back further past 0, and then it will retract because of that preparation in the bottom of the tailpiece. It's called a lazy action. It's literally the industry term, lazy action. The overall length of the short for the deadbolt is about 9/16. That one's stamped DS. The medium length is stamped DL, and that's where the logic breaks down. DL, and that's about 15/16. And the long, or the longest one, is stamped LM. That's about 1 7/8 inches. Along with this is you're going to get the C washer that you'll need for the lazy action or for your deadbolt applications. It will literally sit like that, okay, when you get it to your threaded cap. Okay, when it goes inside your threaded cap. It'll also come with this spacer washer, and I've spoken to tech support at the factory, and when I first saw that, I says, where do you want me to put this? And the gentleman's reaction, who is a great fellow, who not only answers my questions, but he tolerates them, so thank you. You know who you are. There are times, apparently, when the cylinder moves a little bit in the back of the installed situation. So if you need that cylinder, that spacer, you'll put it right in behind. So you'll slide, it'll look like this ultimately. Okay, you'll slide that over your tailpiece. If you put your key in and you've got too much movement, is when you're going to want to certainly use that. And you'll know. And you don't want the cylinder to move inside of the housing at all, inside of the trim, the lever or the knob or the deadbolt. So the NB stands for really what is considered a composite keyway. And I can tell you from experience that this will accept. Kaba Ilco discontinued their XE broaching. And XE, I have to look at an older catalog to see what that was, because I don't remember. It may have been Dexter or Wiser. It might have just been Dexter 67. I don't recall. I'm pulling it up now. XE was a Dexter 67. Okay. So they discontinued the XE at some point, maybe 2017 it was discontinued. Then they manufactured this NB. And the NB is the XE last occurred in a 2014 catalog, but so did the NB. The NB occurred then as well, and they called that composite. Well, it turns out that the NB is going to accept, they just say Dexter, Falcon G, Harlock SE1, Lorry Lock 1200, Sargent S&U, and Westlock, where the first pin is at 216 thousandths from the shoulder to the center of the first cut. But they don't tell you which Dexter. And Dexter has more than one keyway. I can tell you that it will take a Dexter 67, which was the D1054K key blank, which was the Dexter 67. It will absolutely fit in here. And the reason it does is because the broaching in the cylinder plug has been widened, opened. The millings or the wardings have been altered in such a way to permit the passing of those key blanks. The key blank that comes with the NB is the 1014C, and a 1014C. And by the way, all of these catalogs that I'm looking at are linked to, from below this video, to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the key blank catalog, etc. A 1014C is going to be under the Harlock section of the Kaba Ilco key blank catalog, and it will have a Harlock original look-alike bow on the key blank. The direct bidding, the direct code is engraved on the head. So where do we sell this? Well, we sell these this job in particular is going to a somewhat rural area where they have apartment buildings that all have Dexter 67 probably installed from the 1960s. Well, they can't get those locks anymore, whatever is there, so they're buying some other lock and then tossing these cylinders into them so that they can maintain the integrity of the keying system. It's great. It works. It was a little bit of... it was unknown if this would take the Dexter 67 or the 1054K key blank until I was able physically to get my hands on it. I had sold someone several dozen of them with my belief that it would work based on analyzing the data that I had. But that client never reported back to say, yes, success, it worked. All 50 cylinders worked. So it was a big gamble. But then on this job, I brought all the material into me so I could physically test it, and lo and behold. Now back to what this is. A 15995. It's a key and knob lever deadbolt, drilled 6, pinned 5, with this composite keyway. It's 26D. The plug is going to be compatible with your satin chromes. You can do an 04 and get a satin brass on that. Now, a hallmark of the Kaba Ilco line of mortise, rim, composite type cylinders is that they're made of solid brass. The housing, the cylinder plug, the shell, this is what's called the Bible. That's the technical term. It's literally called Bible, where the springs and top drivers are, the driver pins are contained. Threaded cap with a spring-loaded pin. Okay, solid brass, that means they're going to hold very, very tight margins, which means you get really great smooth operating out of this material. If you've ever keyed locks, you definitely know that you don't like keying cylinders made of die-cast zinc. Those are garbage. And a joy it is to pin solid brass equipment, architectural hardware. I'm a fan of Kaba Ilco cylinders, and it's because of the high quality of the cylinder itself. I'm a fan of them as well as because you can make them work in lots of applications where you may have a situation that like this Dexter application, those locks don't exist. We would need a time machine to find any of those locks. And by utilizing Kaba Ilco composite style cylinders, you can keep that system running. I'm partial to them because of that great technical support that I have come to depend on, and the high quality and the confluence of value. These cylinders are incredibly inexpensive compared to what original OEM cylinders would cost. If you're tossing these into a Schlage A-line knob, yeah, you know, you're not going to get a Dexter 67 from Schlage, but even if you were doing a Schlage, you know, those cylinders would be far more costly than the Kaba Ilco. And while the Schlage cylinders are superior as original equipment, you do really great when you're buying Kaba Ilco products. Now, that link I had mentioned earlier below this video to the manufacturer's page will get you the key blank catalog, get you access to the brass cylinder catalogs, and several other encyclopedic documents that we have there, even some archival documents, some older Ilco or independent lock catalogs, key blank catalogs really, is what's there. Lots of information on key machines and their engraving material, their engraving equipment. If you have any questions on the Kaba 15995NB in a 26D finish, and by the way, we can do this keying any way that you need. The KD in that part number means key different. We can key that material here. We can have the factory key it. You know, we can key it to key to like, key differently. Level 2, master keying. Level 3, grandmaster keying, and so on. Provides you the cut keys that you need, so we can do all the locksmithing here as well. And thank you very much.